every single factory team is never very happy to see the satellite team beating the factory team, which should be on paper the #1 team and the #2 team.
Hervé, you are not just a team owner, but clearly you are IRTA president as well. So you are really in close contact with all the teams, all the team owners. What do you see now after almost half a year the pandemic started? Mostly the Moto2 and the Moto3 teams, how much are they affected? Have they lost already any sponsors? Also, in your case, for example, what about with the smaller companies used to be or maybe still involved in this championship?
Okay, so to start, everybody has been affected. Everybody, from the promoter Dorna to the MotoGP team to the Moto2 team to the Moto E team. Regarding Moto2, Moto3, we took some decision. As you know, during the lockdown, before we started in Jerez, they got some extra financial support and everybody could go through Jerez without having any major problem. Second, for the 3 classes, including Moto2, Moto3, we have the frozen rule that is allowing everybody to keep the machine we are using now for next season. So of course that will be a major cost reduction because you don't have to buy a new bike. You can use the spare parts you have in this year to race next year. And basically you can divide by 2 the cost because instead of buying a new package for 2021, you keep the 20 and maybe it's not completely divided by 2, but almost. Also, we have decided not to go through a selection committee process that we go every year for Moto2, Moto3. All of the Moto2, Moto3 have received an official letter from Dorna IRTA telling them that due to the pandemic situation, due to the incredible support every single Moto3, Moto2 team showed to the championship, we have decided to automatically renew their entry. So everybody who is on the grid will be on the grid in 2021, if they wish, of course. And all I know is they will receive again some substantial extra financial support compared to what we were supposed to have. The cost, the support in the financial support will be less than in MotoGP, and I believe they will go through, and I don't think there will be major problem for what I heard. You know, there could be some problem that will arise later, but right now, for what we know, we are meeting all of the team manager, team owner of the Moto3, Moto2 class also. They all come to IRTA anytime they have something to ask. And for what we know, at the moment, everybody is wishing to carry on and everybody has the possibility to carry on, which is an incredibly good news, of course.
Recently, there were some rumors, let's say, that you are going to lose one of your biggest sponsor next year. I know, or we know, that it's a complex agreement that you have with KTM, so Red Bull involved, and I think also you said already that now you feel safe. Still, if you could explain us a little bit the situation, but first of all, whether it's true or not, whether are you worried or not, and then what the future can be for you.
Okay. Point 1, I would like to tell you that my very honest feeling is I've been very proud to wear the Red Bull and to carry the Red Bull colors. I have a lot of respect, admiration for this company. This is an incredible company, and for me, this is certainly the #1 sponsor in the MotoGP paddock, for me, in my eyes. Having said that, my personal contract as Tech 3 for 2019-2021 is with KTM. My only partner is KTM. As you can imagine, KTM and Red Bull, they are both Austrian company. They are both very successful company from Austria. They know each other very well. They talk to each other very well. So in my contract, everything is only in between Tech3 and KTM. If ever KTM is finding a sponsor and ask me to have my bike, my team uniform, my trucks painted in the color of the sponsor, I have to do it. But this is only if KTM is finding an agreement with a company, which until this year is Red Bull. I have no idea at which state of discussion we are now in between KTM CEO and Red Bull CEO. They are talking to each other every single day. As you know, there are a lot of partnership together. Red Bull KTM is a stronger association. Will Tech3 be part or not of this strong association in 2021? I don't know. If I want to be completely honest with you, I think it's more likely no than yes. Looks like also Mr. Pirer, who is a KTM CEO, would like to advertise a bit more for his own brand, which is KTM, through his MotoGP racing investment and involvement. So this is where we are now, but I have received a lot of telephone call and official email telling me that doesn't matter what the negotiation in between KTM and Red Bull will be, Tech3 and KTM will carry on the way we have been working the last 2 seasons for the next season.
A lot of things happened already this year. Mark's injury, 7 different winners already, 9 races in MotoGP clearly, red flag situations, then criticism because of the steward decisions, Valentino's contract, Ducati lineup. I mean, really, like, it has been a decade when we started this season, and now recently there are a lot of topics or questions and talks about the MotoGP grid lineup in 2021 already, with maybe any changes, and then clearly about the new era, what's gonna happen from 2022. So where are you now with this preparation? What's the process?
Okay, sure, this year has been a fantastic championship where we saw many things happening, a lot of different winners, a lot of first-time winner, also new manufacturer winning. One of them is KTM, which was incredible, and for sure in advance on the plan, which was an incredible positive news.
And the first victory of your team. Sorry, I've written it down and I forgot to mention, but congratulations again.
No. And so clearly 2020 will always remain in everybody's memory and heart, but maybe even more for us as a very special year. You know, we are in the second season with our new manufacturer. We won a race. We never won a MotoGP race. So definitely 2020 is a crazy season, if I can use crazy. We saw last race also unbelievable. You know, everybody was talking quite negatively about Honda. Alex Marquez, a rookie, is almost on the heels of Danilo at the end of the race and did an incredible job. So this is fantastic for the show. This is fantastic for everyone because everyone has a little bit of a bite of success, and this is important. Not always the same one winning every single Sunday. About the future, clearly, I think each single manufacturer now understand that to have a satellite operation, to have a second team is a big bonus. Where in the past there were some manufacturers were saying, we do it to help the championship, but this is a weight on our shoulder. This is disturbing us to our main focus, and this is costing us money. Now everybody understands that you don't lose any money. You make money by supplying an independent team. Any manufacturer now has understood, and they want to have a satellite operation, which is very good for the independent team because that puts us in a good position. Because now, we don't have to go and beg. The manufacturers are contacting you to say, would you like to consider working with us? What are your conditions? So also this can be helping us to bargain, you know. And I believe KTM is quite happy, but you should ask Pete Bauer in the future, is quite happy to have a satellite operation this year. And I think now the very successful Suzuki factory is for sure understanding, and I know Davide Brivio has always been pushing to have that, to have a satellite operation. And I'm quite sure also Massimo Rivola would like to have a satellite operation on the side of his factory team. So this is something which is very interesting, which certainly will happen in the near future. The current contract in between the teams and the promoter, which is Dorna, and the manufacturers is ending end of 21. And in 2022, I think we could see a different grid, not more bike on the grid, but for sure more factories having a satellite operation. And this is very, very, very good for them, for us, and for the show, and for the young riders.
In the current situation, can you, how to say, push, not you, I mean, so the GP Commission or Dorna, the organizers can push, let's say, the factories to, or force them, maybe it's better, to have 4 bikes on the grid, or how does it work? And also, what's the deadline to decide this? And also, can a factory say, sorry, but we just can't do this?
Yes. You know, because I think we cannot force anybody, and we don't want to force anybody. Always that must be a decision that each single company must take without any pressure, because they think it's going to be better for their company. So there is a financial support, an extra financial support, and this is what you can call a carrot for any manufacturer who wants to have. So already from Dorna, clearly the situation is very different if you only enter with a 2-bike team as a factory team, or if you have another team on the side supported by you. On the financial support, this is quite significant, and this will be even more in the future. And now almost every independent team is having factory spec of the same year, which was not the case before. Before, you know, the factories were giving a year or sometimes 2 years old, you know, machinery to go racing for the independent team. Now we all have the same. And because also for the factory, this is a big bonus. Because if your riders are on the same spec, they can use the feedback, they can use the data. And for the engineer who developed the bike, this is a big bonus, I'm telling you.
I got a lot of questions. Factories can be really happy to see the independence team winning and not their own guys, because at least some of the sponsors are different, for example. So it's nowadays, the current MotoGP, let's say, it's more about the factories, the brand, the motorcycle brands, and less like, let's say, the personal sponsors. So can they be really happy to see an independent team winning?
You know, the best example at the moment is the Yamaha example. At the end of the day, if Fabio is MotoGP world champion, this is going to be a Yamaha World Championship, you know. So I think the factories should look like this. Of course, every single factory team is never very happy to see the satellite team beating the factory team, which should be on paper the #1 team and the #2 team. So ideal scenario is the factory team is winning and the satellite operation is doing well to support the factory team. But in the end, I'm quite sure the Yamaha management will be happy if Fabio is winning the championship, because they will have won the championship.
So what's the deadline for the GP Commission to know which manufacturer, how many bikes we'll have from 2022 on the grid?
Right now, there is no deadline. I can tell you that the promoter, which is Dorna, through Carmelo Espeleta, their CEO, has already sent some kind of ideas to the independent team for the 22-26 new contract, and has also seen individually each single manufacturer involved in MotoGP to give them his proposal his idea about the championship, and that was very well received. Everybody was happy, and nothing is signed yet, but I can tell you, I think the 6 current manufacturer will remain on board, I believe, in 22-26, which is something very good when we go through this tough economical situation. And most of them will push like crazy to have a satellite operation. If I look back at the past, because I've been an independent team for many years, before then, the upper game, the upper end, was in the hand of the manufacturers that were deciding who they will support or not. And we were more waiting to know what was going to happen with us. Clearly, the new situation that I explained just before has helped the independent team to raise their game. And I think now, as I told you, the fact that the manufacturers understand how important it is to have 4 bikes on the grid has helped us to be at, let's say, a similar level in terms of negotiations. Clearly, our position is stronger because now, we can eventually choose. If you're contacted by a manufacturer who tell you, I want to work with you, this is my condition, but these conditions are almost unreachable, and another manufacturer is coming with a better offer, you can start, to have a proper negotiation where you don't have to always bend, but talk on a equal level. And this is very good, because again, when you work together, everybody should have a benefit and everybody should respect each other. And this is what I'm telling my fellow, independent team owner. Don't bend. We need the factory, but the factory needs us now. So let's have a proper negotiation where you don't want to show any muscle, but you just want to explain them that life will be better at 4 than at 2.
And lastly, is there a deadline then for the Dorna and Erta contract? Because I think also that one expires.
I think Carmelo is a wise man. He's a wise businessman, and has a clear vision of what he wants to do. He believes a lot in the MotoGP product. Even though this year was a difficult year, I think we went through so far quite well. We still have to keep this humble attitude, but we have also to understand our forces. And his idea, his request is to all manufacturers and to all independent teams to try to finally sign an agreement before the end of 2020, which is before the end of December this year.
Okay, so you don't have too much time then.
Dorna is selling a product. What they are selling is the grid. And the grid is manufacturers and team. And if the teams and manufacturers are clear from 22-26, for sure, we are stronger to sell our product to the sponsors, to the TVs, to the single promoters, because we want next year to have a normal calendar. And this is what Carmelo is going to work on, and this is what he's going to publish soon.
And when are you going to decide, or will be decided, whether next year we can see wildcard appearances as well?
I honestly, right now, this is not the major topic. This year was a bit difficult because we had to have a closed paddock and we wanted to reduce as much as we can the participants. The factories in the MotoGP class didn't think they needed a lot, so nobody pushed and everybody understood. Moto2, Moto3, honestly, the wildcard at the moment are more a tool to help the teams to sometimes have a good financial deal. But, I don't think this is a crucial point at the moment. This has been talked last year TAC committee, but in Misano, and we decided to wait a bit more to see how the sanitary situation will evolve, and if we can, we will do it. But if there is a very, very good rider in a national championship or a junior championship around the world, he will be taken by a Moto2, Moto3 team to join the World Championship. A wildcard is something which is, for me, We will have it back, but it is a bit something from the past that with our organization now, that has not so much meaning, because sometimes for a rider, it has been a painful experience to go through a wildcard that cost a lot of money, that didn't help their image. So I think wildcard is something we will finally decide a bit later.
I think that, for example, Andrea Dovizioso would be quite interesting to know whether there will be any wildcard possibilities for next year or not. But
Andrea is I mean, he's normally a wildcard is a young rider that wants to show his face, his potential, and his name in order to be promoted in the World Championship in the following season. Andrea has almost nothing to prove. He's been 3-time vice world champion. He has decided not to take an offer to race on a full factory bike. So I think he knows. I know Andrea quite well. I think he knows what he wants, and I know what he doesn't want. So I'm not sure Andrea needs a wild card to show what he can do on a bike. The whole paddock knows Andrea is a GP winner and a potential world champion. We don't need him to do a wild card to understand that. Nobody. We know his potential.
No, showing no for sure, but you know that it's not the same if you have the possibility. It's at least 3 times during the season to prove yourself, or maybe better to say test yourself during race conditions. But this is a small part of the whole story, as you said.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, Hervé, and for a lot of information. I think now a lot of things are much clearer than it was in the recent weeks or months. Finger crossed that we can finish the season completely, and then let's hope for a normal, or as normal as possible, 2021.
Yeah, we will. Thank you, Nikki. We will push for everything to go back to as much normal as possible, but this is not in our hands. Thank you for your support, for your interest. Be sure that we care about you, all of you staying at home. We would like you to be with us. We need you, and we like you to be with us. And meanwhile, we are going, as you said, to try to finish this championship, and maybe we will see some other surprises, and I really, really, really hope so.
Thank you.